Here we are continuing on the sixth video of Do You Really Know Who Jesus Is? Some people think, well, that's a silly question to ask. Of course I know who Jesus is. But you know, even the disciples who were with Jesus, a lot of times they wondered who Jesus was. It says in Mark, the disciples were absolutely terrified. Who is this man, they asked each other. Even the winds and the waves obey him. So here we have some disciples following Jesus, and they're terrified, and they're saying, who is this guy? Who is Jesus? They really couldn't quite understand. Behind me here I have, in the background, Malaga Cove. You can see the waves lapping up on the shore. And when God created the world, he put a boundary on the sea. He put a boundary on how far the waves could go. It says in Job, he said, I said, this far and no farther will you come. Here your proud waves must stop. In fact, we find that surfers kind of enjoy riding the last stages of those waves before their final end. But the disciples, they were not in such a good situation. They're in a storm. They think, we're going to capsize. We're about ready to die. And then they look, and Jesus, he's asleep in the back of the boat. And they go, Jesus, don't you care? Master, teacher, don't you care? We're going to die. And you're sleeping in the back of the boat. So when Jesus woke up, there was good news. It says in the Bible here that Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, silence, be still. Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? This wasn't the only time that the disciples were out in the water having a difficult time. And it says in Matthew, they were far away from land, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, kind of dark out, right? Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, it's a ghost. But Jesus spoke to them at once. Don't be afraid. Take courage. I am here. You know, it's important. Jesus spoke to them at once. He doesn't want us to be afraid of him. He wants us to be with him. Then Peter called to him and he said, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come walking on the water. Well, I don't know about you, but if I'm in a boat and it's kind of rough out there, you know, people get on Peter's case. He got out and walked on the water. That's quite a feat. He was walking on the water toward Jesus and he saw the waves. And he said, well, wait a minute, these waves are big. They're gonna knock me over. And he doubted and he started sinking and he said, Lord, save me. And Jesus reached his hand down and lifted him back up on the water. And he said, why did you doubt? Why did you doubt? He was walking towards Jesus, and the waves, they were insignificant in the heart and mind of Jesus. What's important is keeping your mind on Jesus, and those waves, they're just going to roll right on by. But also when Peter was sinking, Jesus just didn't say, idiot, why didn't you keep your faith up? No, he's out to rescue. Jesus is always running after me. He's always chasing me. He wants me to be better than I want to be myself. He wants me to be what he created me to be. So Jesus and Peter climbed back in the boat, and again, the wind stopped. This time the disciples, they'd been with Jesus a little bit longer, and this is what they said. You really are the Son of God. You really are the Son of God. What they didn't realize was Jesus was the same God that dried up the river when Joshua went across to go into Canaan land. Jesus was the same God that parted the waters so Israel could go across the Red Sea on dry ground. That Jesus is the master of the universe. He's the master of the waves that roll. He's the master of the wind. There's nothing that Jesus isn't in control. Jesus is the master of the universe. So maybe you feel like you're out in a storm and you're about ready to perish. call upon the name of Jesus. He's going to calm that storm for you. Maybe you're like Peter and you're thinking, you've been walking in faith, and right now I'm kind of thinking, Lord, and he'll lift you up and help you to stand. And if you'd like some prayer, I'd just like you to private message me on Messenger, or you can put a comment on Facebook here, whatever. If you feel like you would like to have prayer, I'd be glad to pray for you. From the moment